Doug, thank you for co-hosting the show.
My pleasure, Victor.
Usually we ask the co-hosts a trivia question at the top of the show, so I'm going to ask you a trivia question since this is the first show you ever co-hosted. The trivia question is, what's your least favorite thing about this show?
Least favorite thing? Probably the hat and hood combo.
The hat and hood it's my attire? That's your least favorite thing about this show?
Yeah, probably right now. I'll get used to it, though.
All right. Okay. Way to come out the box, Doug.
I'm sorry.
Everybody check us out at Six Unseemly on all social media and unseemlyquestions.com. Welcome to Six Unseemly Questions. I'm your host, Victor Varnado. This is my sidekick, Doug Ocar.
That's true.
We've got a great contestant on the show today. Everybody put your hands together for Emmett Montgomery. Woo! All right. Welcome, Emmett.
Hello. Hi.
Hi. Thanks for coming to the show. We also have a studio audience. In our studio audience is Mark Shalafo and Rachel Teichman. Welcome, one and all.
Yay.
All right, Emmett, I'm going to explain how the show works, and then we're going to get started. I'm going to ask you 6 unseemly questions. At the end of each question, I'll ring a bell if I like your answer, like this. However, if I do not like your answer, I will not ring a bell, and I'll tell you why. Regardless of how many bells you get at the end of the show, I'll decide whether or not your appearance on the show is worth giving you $5 whole. All right, are you ready to get started?
Yes.
He's
okay.
Hesitant.
Yeah, he is a little bit hesitant. It's time for question number 1. Question number 1. Who is your art for?
I don't want to be evil, and I like farts and spiders.
You don't want to be evil, and you like farts and spiders.
Yeah, so just trying to spread joy with my limited toolbox.
So I ask you a very specific question, like, who is your art for? And you respond with like a puzzle for me?
Or is that that could be the demographic?
Well, how does that name a demographic?
I think it's for folks that are looking for joy and may not understand the beauty of farts and spiders, and hopefully I can, and other stuff,
All right, I'm going to say no bell on that question. I'll tell you why.
I'm on board with the farts.
You're on board with the farts part?
Yeah.
Is there a reason, or just you picked a side?
I think it's
one of God's first gifts.
Really.
Listen, all right. I'm going to stop the fart conversation for just a second. I know that's unusual for me, how much I like farts and all.
Yeah.
But I just want to say that there's no bell on that first question because I felt like your answer was a little ambiguous and it was hard to decipher for me.
Okay.
Your show.
Yeah, that's true, Doug. All right, it is time for question number 2. But before we do that, can you tell people out there what you do?
I am a comedian and storyteller, and I make puppets as well. I think I gave you one once.
Yes, I do. I own one of your puppets.
Yeah, actually, I made a cat with human teeth last night because I couldn't sleep.
That's awesome.
So you made the nightmare creature because you couldn't sleep?
Yeah, it helped. Maybe my art is for me. Maybe there's some things in me that I just have to get out of me. Those farts.
Are you the fart and spider?
That is a great answer. If only you thought of it a question ago.
Well, there we go. And then I create. I do community-based weird variety shows. And of course, like everybody, I'm figuring out what that means now in this COVID world. And Seattle's just an interesting town to do art. So there we go.
All right. Okay. Well, I love you and what you do. And I wouldn't own one of your puppets if I didn't think you were awesome. I would have trashed it as soon as you left it. All right. It is time for question number 2. Question number 2. At what age did you become a mustache guy?
I think the mustache is always inside of you until it comes out. But I grew up very conservative. I grew up conservative Mormon. And so, but around 13, it started showing up and I had to kill it every day. When I left the church, at about 19 years old, I was like, let's see what happens. And it just kept coming out. So
It's a gateway.
I'd like to think
to
I
the
was
beard.
always a mustache guy,
Mm-hmm.
but now I can live my truth. Because people will see me as a beard guy, but there is a mustache in here.
So now you're saying like if you weren't in the Mormon church, you would have been a mustache guy at 13?
Well, I don't know. I mean, do you really trust those teenage mustachers? You know, but I at least would have had the choice to be that.
13's impressive too.
But
I mean, that's
I
pretty
really
impressive.
think it's like I always had the potential.
All right. Okay. All right. You know what? I'm going to give you a bell. I'll tell you why. Because
right.
the information that you left the Mormon church, I'm sure was a surprise to a lot of people. And we enjoy surprises here.
You'll be back.
Doug is just out. He's basically a bounty hunter for the church, I guess. What you
Yes,
call him?
this all worked out great. It's been a long time setting this
Well,
up.
in a paperwork sense, I have
Open the
I
door,
have
Emmett.
never
Open
left,
the door.
Right, I'm still on the rolls, but now that both my parents are dead, I'm actually in the process of being removed from the official paperwork.
Oh, wow.
So that I can be cast into outer darkness or the less exciting heaven.
I did not know that it was that extensive.
Oh, it's a thing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Why wouldn't it be? I mean, if you're going to try to start a religion or have a religion, there's a lot of behind the scenes paperwork. So
Do you have to dig out the tracking device too, or is that stay?
all right, Doug. Nobody was with it. I was gonna see if somebody would respond to you, Doug, but unfortunately, nobody.
Well,
nobody went for it.
I froze Emmett. Well, my people are there now, my agents, to get him. So.
Oh yeah, we saw. Wouldn't it be funny if it just went black and that was it? Yeah, no,
Of course, it acts up once we start talking about the church. They're everywhere. They're trying to shut this shit down.
All right, it is now time for question number 3. Question number 3, Emmett. Do you think there is real magic in the world?
Ooh. I think there's more stuff than we know, and I think the potential for weirdness that defies our expectations is hopefully out there. And I've had some strange moments of synchronicity and coincidence that kind of seemed driven by something else. But if there wasn't magic, and it was just kind of a big strange machine, I'd be okay with that.
All right. Well, I think that here's I'm going to say no, Bell. Here's why.
Okay.
Because I figure you as a guy who's like, yes, I think there's real magic, but you just don't really want to get into it.
Well, I mean, if you're asking me, do I think that there's like Sasquatches and Wolfmans? Yes.
Why didn't you just say that in the first place, man?
If I think like that crystals, work, probably not.
You think there can be one without the other?
Yeah, I think that, Doug, that we definitely are like a buffet of the cosmic, and we get to fill our plates with what we want.
Also,
put inside of us.
Also, right on. I'm coming down on the other side of your question, Doug, because just because one magic exists doesn't mean that all magics have to exist, right? I mean, just because somebody can do a card trick doesn't mean there has to be a wyvern.
I don't know. It's just nice to round up and have it all done, but fine. Yeah.
All right. Agree to disagree. All right. So I'm gonna. We did say no bell on that one, unfortunately, because I didn't feel your answer. I just decided that I thought your answer was different. So no bell for you.
That's okay. I do look like a wizard, and you just guessed.
Yes.
A lot about me.
All right. This is question number 4. Will you forgive me for accidentally texting your wife?
Oh, would you ask her for boobs?
Well, I was dating a woman at the time who had the same first name as his wife. And we were sexting this woman who I was dating. And then and I accidentally asked his wife for a boob picture.
Accidentally.
Oh, it was a source of joy, and I will tell you this: we love you so much
that we did it.
That it wasn't necessarily, that we thought about it, because you're definitely someone. You work hard putting good stuff in the world. If anybody enjoys boobs, it's you. But the thing is, just our relationship with you, there was no ill intent proceeding, and it was something that she was giggling about for days, and it was during a time where seeing my wife smile was a too rare joy. So that pervy text that you sent my wife was a source of joy. So
great.
Thanks for being awful, Victor. Even when you do bad, you do good.
I've heard the story like a bunch of times, and now that I finally get to meet you, it's become that much more real and in depth.
Yeah, she's heard the story about how stupid I feel. I felt for so long.
Oh, it sounds like you got the green light though to do it again. It brings joy.
No, that was a one shot.
Victor, did you follow it up with a text?
You can send a filthy text to me. I think you get one per couple. But I once sent a very specific question about a rash to one of my favorite musicians accidentally. So I get what that is like.
All right. Well, great. Well, I think that I've worked through this enough, so we can move on to question number 5. All right. Question number 5. I didn't give a bell?
Yeah, you did.
I thought I gave a bell.
You did.
Oh, you just weren't paying attention. It's no big deal. It's only the show.
Still counts.
It does. The bell still counts. That's true, Doug. I wouldn't go against my own bell.
You've done it before.
That is true, Rachel. I have. And so I guess when I said I wouldn't go against my own bell, I was just straight up lying, everybody. Way to go, Rachel.
Lying
All right.
works.
It is time for question number 5. Question number 5. How many Legos do you own?
Ooh, this is going to be another one that defies expectations. My father, who passed away this summer, was actually known for the extensive Lego collection that he had in his office in the history department at BYU. His big castles and everything. And people would go in to see it. And some people would take his class specifically with the hope of seeing it. It's kind of known as the Lego professor. So the answer is none.
Wow. I'm not you, Dad.
Okay, that is...
Trauma.
Well, I mean, the answer makes complete sense. So it gets a bell. I think that's only fair.
I give them as gifts all the time, but it's just and I think maybe the fact that a lot of the toys we had were all about building an imagination is why I am a 43-year-old man who makes paper bag puppets. So the legacy is in me. I'm still putting stuff together.
What happened to the Lego castles then?
So it was various grandchildren have it, and it was kind of, and then we did find some Lego sets when we went through his stuff that went actually to my oldest brother. I'm one of 7 boys.
Mm-hmm.
My oldest brother was actually having a grandchild. I mean, he wasn't, expelling it at the time. And so we decided, because he was born on the day of my dad's funeral, that we would give these Legos to this kid. That
they can use once they're, 6 or 8, I guess. This choking hazard right now. You don't want to give a kid Legos.
As a baby sister, I was playing with Legos when they were a choking hazard, I assure you.
Great. Your parents seem to have some work to do.
That was a real heartfelt story that you just missed. It would have really been beautiful.
Well, we have to move on.
It is now time for question number 6. Question number 6. Would you rather murder somebody with a chainsaw or have someone murder you with a chainsaw?
Honestly, one of the things that I've always wondered about because I heard that the head can see for a full 8 seconds when removed from the human body. I think I think about it every day. I think I'd be murdered by a chainsaw.
Oh, I would rather be murdered by a chainsaw for a different reason. Because in fact, I don't even think your reason would work, because I don't know if the head can be cut off in 8 seconds with a chainsaw.
Well, no, but once it's fully removed from the human body, then it can still function.
You mean as long as like a little piece of sinew is?
No, it's I think it's until the brain completely loses oxygen.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, I guess it's going to take a while for us to figure out whether or not that is true. But I will say this. The reason that I would rather be killed by a chainsaw is because I think that if I was attacking someone with a chainsaw, I would be really into it before I started hurting them and I saw it, then I'd freak out. And so I'd rather not. I think I'd have to do it the other way around and like have somebody just kill me with a chainsaw.
Have you ever used a chainsaw, Victor?
No, I've started one and held it.
They're not that fun. I've had to actually work on some wood and some other stuff with a chainsaw. It's a lot of work. It's a pain. It's not a graceful thing to use. So I'd much rather have the person do the work, and then maybe learn something about myself.
So there's more fun ways to kill people than a chainsaw. It's more work, you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like maybe if you were going to kill somebody, I think the most fun way would be like if you had like mind waves that made people's heads explode.
Oh yeah.
That would that would probably be the most fun way.
Like scanners?
Yeah. Like scanners, except in scanners it looked like it was a lot of work.
Yeah, it did take some time, right?
Yeah, it did. He had to he had an
guy blew
aneurysm
up,
doing it.
Remember his arm spun around after he blew up? That was kind of...
I do. All right, here we go. And there you go.
Yay,
that is a
good
bell.
job, Emmett.
Because your answer was sort of the same as mine, that you would have to be murdered with a chainsaw. All right, Emmett. That was great. You answered all 6 questions. Now it's time to decide whether or not you get $5. But before we do that, can you tell people out there where to find you?
I think the best place to find me right now is on my Instagram, Emmett Montgomery. And that's where a lot of my links to the things I'm doing. I am starting to perform again in real life, and I have some neat things in the works, and then I'm always floating around doing weird things on the internet.
All right, Emmett Montgomery, always funny, everybody. I'll say it right to your face. Always funny. Emmett
Take
Montgomery.
that, Emmett.
All right. It is time to decide whether or not you get $5. As always, we canvass the room. Let's start off with Doug. Doug, what do you think? Should Emmett get $5 for his appearance on the show?
I thought he had some really good, thoughtful, revealing answers. So yes, $5 for Emmett, I say.
So yes, $5 for Emmett. All right. What do you think, Mark? Should Emmett get $5 for his appearance on the show?
I think I would have been a little bit more liberal with the bell at times myself. And I think that he should get the $5 just so he can upgrade his headphone situation.
All right.
Ugh, liberal.
Not just an endorsement, but also he took a pot shot at my hosting. All right. Rachel, what do you think? Should Emmett get $5 for his appearance on the show?
You know what? I'm still thinking about that cat puppet that he showed us before. And
the one with the human teeth?
Yeah, and like the back of the throat. And it's living rent free in my mind, but that rent's still got to be paid. So give him the $5. Yes. All
right. Rachel is into it as well. Emmett, what do you think? Should you get $5 for your appearance on the show?
You know what, Victor? I believe I owe you some money from my last trip. So maybe you could put that towards my tab.
All right, fair enough. All right, but thank you so much for being on the show. You were great. Now it's just time to close the show.
He just vetoed our votes. He just vetoed all our votes.
Doug, what did you learn from this week's show?
That a father's passion doesn't always completely translate.
Sounds like you made that up.
I did.
All right.
I wrote it down ahead of time, hoping this would work out.
Everybody, check out 6 Unseemly on all social media at unseemlyquestions.com.
Starbane's Audio, a podcast network.